Hello, my wire warriors, and welcome to Tuesday Scrap-tacular. So, today we are going to be talking about two things. One is this mother and child link chain that you can make using your scrap wires, not exclusively from scrap wires, but it's one way you can repurpose your scrap. And the other thing we're going to be doing is I have a smaller version of this, but how you would repurpose any half round tangled or mangled wire you have, or something you've had to unravel and you have a length of it, you can make it into a little rosette like this. This is a smaller version from a while back when I was still practicing a few things, and I'll also show you how you can use that in some of your jewelry making. All right, so to get started, let's start with the half round wire. So here I'm using a mandrel, and this length is probably around 18 or 19 inches. I'm going to find the center, and we're going to just twist around it once. The reason I'm using a mandrel, you can use a marker if you don't have a ring mandrel, just something thick enough that it gives you enough of a tail that you can use to wrap around something else. All right, so when you come here, you kind of cross it in the center, hold that center really nice and tight, and just make a little spiral. Once I let my finger go, you'll see what I'm doing. So just like that. Okay, and then we're going to chase one wire with the other. Because your wire is already sort of curled up, it's going to give that illusion of roses. When one wire gets to the other, go under that one, come to the other side, and then come halfway around, chase it with the first wire. When you come here, go under again, as close to that center spiral as you can, like that. Come around nice and tight, and I'm going to see if I can zoom that just a little bit more so you can see all the details. See how that rosette is forming? We do a lot of our twisty rings in this way too. This is just another way of using that same technique of the ring making and creating an embellishment. Okay, so when you get to that first wire, you take this under, nice and tight, close to the center. Hold that tight there and come around, halfway around to the other side. Now it's time to chase that wire with this one. Come around, go under, so lift that first wire up, go under, come back to your original position on this side. So you see how that's forming? The tighter you have your wires, the tighter your rosebud is going to be, depending on how big you want this. I'm going to follow this for a little while and see where it takes me. So I'm going to take the wire that was on this side, come around, lift that first one up, go under, nice and tight, close to the center, and then come around onto this side where I started. Oops. Now go to that first wire, chase this around nice and tight until you come here, go under, and come around to the other side. That's basically all you would be doing. Now take this one, hold that down nice and flat so you have a nice tight rosebud. You let it loose. It's not that it's not going to look good, it's just going to be a looser and bigger flower. Now since I already have something in mind for how I'm going to use this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it right over here, and I'll show you how to end that one too. So go under that. One wire is coming out to this side and one is coming out over here. I'm going to just zoom out just a little bit. Okay, we're going to take that off the mandrel or the marker, whatever you've been using. I'm going to take this side of the wire, go around that shank part of it, the ring part of it, nice and smooth. tight close to that rose, really nice and tight close to that rose a couple of times. This isn't going to be a ring, so it doesn't really matter. Right there. Now if you wanted, you could use this to make another little curlicue. For now, I'm going to leave it the way it is because, like I said, I had something in mind on how I can use it and also show you guys how you can use these embellishments. Same thing to the other side. Come around the other side of the shank, really nice and tight, close to your rosebud, and go around a couple of times. All right, and then you could snip that. Sorry, just let me get that in focus. Snip that really nice and close over there, and the other side as well. Snip it nice and close. You can take your pliers, and I'm just going to curl that end in with my needle nose, round nose pliers, although I should probably have flat nose there. Okay, that seems okay. Oops, sorry, out of focus there. Alright, what we're going to do then is come to the other side of the shank and roughly in the center you're going to snip that. So then when you open it up, you've got this rosebud. I need to tuck that wire in, but that's what you have. Okay, let me just tuck that for a second. It's a little difficult to do with the camera as your eye. Sorry about that. Be right back on screen. So there you have it. That's your rosebud. Now a few days ago I created this beautiful heart pendant, and on the back I put a nice little spiral. I had every intention of putting something else on the front, and I knew what it was going to be. It was going to be this rose. So this is how you'd attach it. You'd put it here, and then you would take these tails and basically wrap it right around this pendant. Okay, so again, go in through here. I need to just grab that end, feed it through to the front. And it could have been a bead too, like if you wanted to add a bead. It's just that this is the design I had in mind when I started. Plus, like I said, it would have been a nice way to introduce this tutorial to all of you as well. So go in through here, feed that through, come to the front, and then just wrap it around a couple of times. Okay, I'm just going to go off screen because it's a little far for my hands to tighten it really nicely. All I'm doing is I am pulling this wire nice and tight against my wraps and going in, and now I'm going to snip them right there, the excess, and I'm going to tuck them in. So here, just going to snip it right there, this side, and snip it right there. Make sure you don't snip off the wrong wires, and I'm just going to curl them in. Okay, it's all tucked in. Just make sure no pokey bits are showing, and there's like a little rose embellishment that you put in. Okay, so that's one way you could use this. I'm going to zoom that in so you can take a nice look at it. Plus, it'll show you if anything is sticking out. So there's one way you could use it. You could use it in different ways. If you had a wire weave going, you could attach 2 or 3 roses on this side. If you look back at some of my videos from a couple of years ago, there would have been a pink butterfly, and I attached these kind of rosettes in the chain. So there's many different ways, many different applications you could have. Okay, so that's one way you could use your half round wire if it's mangled or you've had to unravel it for any reason and you don't want to give it up. All right, so now going forward, now we're going to do the mother and child links. Basically, these are two links, like, I mean, two, I am at a loss for words this evening. Um, there's one large loop and a smaller loop, and one is going east-west and one is going north-south. So that's the way they are, and they connect to each other, much like the horseshoe links we did last week. And thank you, I did receive some of your messages for a more in-depth tutorial on some of these, and I will come up with that and put them on over the next couple of weeks or so. The next one that's going to be coming up is the heart, and I have a minimalistic a request for a minimalistic pendant that I've done a while back, and so I will do that next. So I have these pieces. These are square wires that were left over from my previous project. Actually, it happens to be from this heart, and these are 1.25 inches. So these are 1.25 inches, and because they're square, I'm going to twist them. So to twist them, like I've shown you before, we're using a pin vise. We're going to just stick that through there, one end, if it wants to open up for me. Just the tip of it, tighten it nice and tight. Hold the other end with your pliers, so the flat side of your pliers is good, and just twist until you get this nice diamond cut effect. Okay, so there you have it. You have the twisted wire. All right, let's twist a couple more. And it's a nice idea to have a few of these going. So like if you're sitting, you're not really doing something, you're in between projects, you're watching the television, quiet evening, whatever, it's a nice way to just go ahead and do some of these links. If you have them all, this one doesn't want to tighten up for me right now. All right, it'd be nice to repurpose those wires. All right, we have a couple here, so we're going to start with a couple of links. Now for this one, I definitely recommend your bail making pliers. So I'm going to go with the 1.25 inch, we're going to be using the 5th step for the larger loop and the smallest one for the smaller loop. So when you're putting that in, you hold your wire so you can't feel the tip on this side. Go around, release it again, go around until you have your loop. Okay, I'm going to close that up a bit till it's just touching. And you can take your pliers and just straighten that out, sort of like the breaking the neck thing. So straighten it out at a 90-degree angle there, and also twist it back a little bit on itself, so you have something like this. Okay, so you have your loop like this. Now you're going to take the smallest one. Now if you don't have the bail making pliers, you can most definitely use your round nose pliers. Again, you shouldn't be able to feel that edge. It is a good idea to snip off the very tip, just so it's flush, using your flush cutters, like the flush side of it against it. That way you don't have any pokey bits. Okay, so when you're curling it around, you shouldn't be able to feel the tip between the two wires, and then you go in the opposite directions. Lift up, twist again, and release. So you see how this link is on this plane and this link is on this plane, like this. That's what you have. Starting with obviously equal sized wires is always a bonus, because then all your links will be the same size. Like I said, you don't have to do this only with scrap wires, but it's one way that I repurpose my scrap wires. This will be a bit like medium sized, chunky, or if you want to go with a more delicate chain, you can choose your sizes on this. Like this will obviously make a smaller one, that'll make one even smaller, and so on. You could also make both sides of the loop with one size and just, like I said, have one plane going this way and one the other way. The reason I call it mother and child is because one link is big and the other one is small, sort of like a mother and a child. You can start this the opposite way too. You can always do the little one first. I just like to do the larger one first. It's just the way my head works, I guess. So again, you shouldn't be able to feel that. Go around, lift, release till you get to a closed loop like that. Take your pliers. I happen to have my round nose pliers, and I'll show you how you can do that with the round nose as well. Right where they meet, straighten it out 90 degrees, and then lift it up a little bit so it's at about a 45 degrees away from this side of it. And then again, going back to this one here, release that, just sharpen that bend a bit till it closes. All right, so here you have your two links. I haven't closed that all the way because I'm going to show you how to attach that. So with this open end facing down and this open end facing down, you would just put that through there and come in with your pliers and just, firstly I'm going to close that loop, and then to tighten that, same like you would with a jump ring, you would go across the other side into the center, and there you have your links. You could very well have 2 or 3 of these going and just attach an ear wire to one side and have some dangling earrings. You could do what I've done here, have a longer chain, and if you have some round wires and some square wires, you could most definitely mix and match and have one link textured and the other link a little bit plainer. So that's it for this link, really. It depends on how long you need it. You can make a chain out of it. You can make, what I have done actually with this one is it's an extender. So when I'm making some chains, I have this length here, and this works out to about just roughly 2 inches, and I would attach my chain to one end, and then the clasp can go in anywhere in one of these links. It's just meant to be an extender. So that's it for today. What we're going to be doing next time is I'll be showing you how to make some of these spirals. Even though we've covered it quite a few times in class, there's always a request to do a tutorial for some of these. So spirals as dangles, as a head pin, what sizes and gauges, and what they would look like. So here's just a few of them. So dangles, there's head pins, there's many different ways you could use them, like in coin kind of jewelry and stuff. Again, so that's your little rosette that we did today with half round wires. I'm going to just tuck in those edges a little bit, but that covered the front. It's made the front nice and fancy. The little spiral on the back adds that little touch over there. And this tutorial actually with another stone is going to be the second heart tutorial that I'd promised you guys, and that will be dropping. I'm hoping that I can post that tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and if you have any other questions or any requests, let me know. So next time, like I said, we will be dealing with the spirals, and we will also be doing one of these coiled links, coiled coils like this. I'll be showing you that. Okay, and that's it for today's Scrap-tacular, and I will be coming back next week, no, not next week, in a couple of weeks, with how you can customize these horseshoe links. Here, like you can see, this is also meant to be an actually a bracelet, and I've used that spiral as a little dangle at the end over there, just to give it a little touch of, something different there. So I will be coming back in a couple of weeks with the horseshoe links and show you how to customize these, how to make them chunkier, what sizes you use to get what kind of link, And I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching.